Hello, everyone.
We are live. Let me open up the chat for everyone here. Let's see. Attendees can chat with everyone. Panelists can chat with everyone as well. If you don't mind, as you're hopping in, feel free to let us know where you're calling in from. How's the weather? How's your Thursday going?
See a fellow Canadian just let us know that he's joined. I'm just outside of Toronto in a place called Vaughan.
Canada's Wonderland.
Yeah, just down the street. If my window was open, I might be able to hear people screaming from the roller coasters.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Mm-hmm.
We have a little place. It's about an hour away from me. It's called Cedar Point.
Oh, yes. Yep.
It is constantly ranked in the top 3. I don't know that it's number 1 anymore because I think there are some new coasters. I think there was one over in Japan that took over like biggest coaster and all that
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
But yeah, we were consistently ranked in the top 3. I feel comfortable saying that.
We have apparently Canada's Wonderland has the biggest, one of the roller coasters has the biggest drop, apparently, I've been told. I don't go on it. But it has yeah, it has the biggest drop in the world. And yeah, I can watch it. I can't be on it.
And as people are getting filed in here, do want to let you guys know that we have a couple poll questions where we would greatly appreciate if you all interact with. The most engaged attendee on today's webinar is going to have lunch on us. So we'll send you over a gift card following up after this webinar.
Yeah.
But I think what we'll do is get into introductions here, have our panelists introduce themselves.
Let's do it. All right, guys. So I'm Nadia Karatsorios. I promise there will not be a spelling test on my last name at the end of today's session. I have been in the channel for a long time, completely passionate about helping MSPs, specifically with their sales and marketing initiatives. So it couldn't be a better topic than this one today. And I'm joined by George. I'll let you introduce yourself.
Thanks, Nadia. George Smith here from Augment, head of our community and strategic partnerships. Prior to Augment, I actually worked for an MSP doing business development. My role there was really to supercharge the growth of that particular company that was done through both sales and marketing. So really big fan of this topic, and I'm a big fan of cheat codes. So I think we're going to be exploring some of those today. Work smart, not hard.
Love it. And we're joined by Steve.
Hey there, everybody. You probably know me as Steve from Rocket MSP. Rocket MSP joined Channel Program earlier this year. I am now the channel content producer here. And I get to make content all day, every day for MSPs. And I absolutely love it. Before that, I had my own MSP that I ran for over a decade.
Awesome. Thank you all for the introductions. I'm hoping maybe those AI assistants, I might have to follow along with their highlights. Maybe we can get some clips for social. See how that works
Good
out for
idea.
us. Right? Work smarter, not harder, right, George?
That's it.
All right, let's hop into the first topic here. Your marketing blueprint. I'm gonna hand the stage over to George, who is gonna give us some cool tips on how to create a marketing blueprint for your MSP.
Cool, thanks, Jared. I'll just get my screen shared here, guys. So what I'm going to do, as I mentioned, kind of as part of some of the promotional around this is basically to show you how to create a bunch of social content within 10, 15 minutes that you could use for the rest of the year. It's on a program called Canva that some of you may be familiar with. If you're not familiar with it, you should check it out. That's all I'm really going to say about the product itself. They're not paying us to promote it or anything, but maybe if someone at Canva sees this, you can waive my subscription in the future. Who knows? So let me get this shared here. And Nadia, you can just give me a thumbs up if you can see yourself on my lovely screen. Okay, great, cool. So the nice thing about Canva, guys, is that I'm not a designer whatsoever, but Canva makes it really easy to create some nice marketing assets. So one of the things that I'm going to show you today is if you think about something that you might want to post regularly on social media. So for example, we know that we hear from our partners, and I know it's the same over at CyberQP, that our MSPs get a lot of business from referrals. And so a big way to help double down on that is to share the great work that you're doing with prospects, and also highlight testimonials. So something you might want to do is create some testimonials, and instead of having to type things out manually and create them all one by one, I'm going to show you how you can do this very easily. So the nice thing with Canva is it makes it super easy. We've got Nadia here, but maybe we'll do one for Jared instead. So I can hit my design tab here. I can also head over to my uploads. I've got Jared's image here. I'm just going to drag and drop that. Boom. It's as easy as that. Okay. The other thing is that I've set this up to look at Cyber QP kind of with the greens here, but Jared actually works for me now over at Augment. So I'm going to change this to my brand. They give you this little section here where you just upload your logos, your colors, etc. And Canva looks at that and goes, okay, cool, here is your brand. And I can instantly click shuffle to make things look more augmenty and kind of go through that and see what it says. But just wanted to highlight that Jared obviously is over at Cyber QP. So let's keep things green so it matches his top. So we've got some testimonials here. I've got what my clients say. Again, it's a WYSIWYG editor, fully editable. I've got my testimonial box here and my company name, just to kind of wireframe things out. When I go over to here, I've generated some bogus testimonials here in a simple, Google Docs, Excel spreadsheet, whatever you want. So column A is just the nice things people are saying. Column B is, who that person is. So I'm going to hop back into this, and I'm simply going to go down to bulk create, and I'm going to upload a CSV version of those fictional templates. So if I go to my downloads here, I've got my fictional testimonies. They're all going to come in there. And this is how easy things get. So what I want to do now is go over to click this testimonial box, and I'm going to connect the data. So I want to connect this to our brand, and then the company name, I want to connect that to the name. Okay. And then once that's done, there we go. Or have I just disconnected? Connected. Boom. There we go. Testimonial, connect. Done. Hit continue. And now we can see here, apply data, and we've got everything already. Generate 25 designs. Then open a new tab. Done. And now it's pulled all that information in there. So we've still got my nice testimonials, and I can scroll down. And now I've got 25 posts that I've created if I was just doing it without presenting it in about 25 seconds. From here, Canva makes it even easier, where then you can also go to share. So you can go and download this, however you like. But the nice thing is they've actually got a button here, share on social, and you can actually put it straight to whatever platform you want, whether it's Instagram, a Facebook page, or you can actually even schedule this as well. The one thing I'll note with the schedule, that is a premium feature. That's this little crown icon enters. I think Canva for the year is like $200 or $300 maybe. So it's not the most expensive software subscription in the world, but you can also just use it for free as well. Another couple of cool things that I'll just show super quickly is if you're like me and you hate like furnicking around with like little design pieces, another thing you can do is say if I go back to my brand and I want to pull in the Augment logo here, I've uploaded the Augment logo. Okay, I want to put it, maybe down in the corner here like this, but as we can see, as we can see, it's got that white background. Okay, now instead of having to open up a new tab, Canva makes it very easy. Going to click this, edit image, and it's got all the things that we as modern digital workers kind of want at our fingertips. So there's the background remover. Done. Super easy. So instead of having to upload Adobe or find like a free background remover with a different URL, you can just get it done in here. Now the other thing I'll show you just as an example is maybe you want to do stats. And again, like guys, like you can cheat. Like if you're not a designer, I just typed in cyber purple stuff here. Find this nice little one here, bring that over, snap, it goes into place just like that. And now I can begin to edit the various different bits and pieces. So I'm just going to quickly delete this so I can show you one that I've tidied up. Now again, very, very simply, all I can do is go back down to bulk create, upload data. This time I'm going to enter my example stats, which is this sheet here. So same theory, like I've got a bunch of stats here that I've pulled. I compile this regularly just for my own job. I think it's something that's a good practice for MSPs to do. Just a Google sheet. If you see something that's cool that, picks your imagination, enter it into your Google Doc. Then you can come back into your Canva. there you've got everything. And again, I want the source connected to what the source is. I want the stat connected to what that is. Connect. And there I've got 44, generate 44. Gets it done in literally seconds. There we go. And again, if you want to make this bigger or smaller, like spacing, super easy with a toggle. So if you're someone who's used to having to do things in Microsoft Word and tap this that way, like Canva just makes everything so much easier. Again, share, and away you go. So that was what, like 7 minutes or so, quick blast of like, here's testimonials, here's stats. Like there's an infinite amount of ways that you guys can use Canva to get creative. If anybody wants some more ideas, feel free to hit me up. But I would say carve out a morning or a day, an afternoon. Think about some of the things that you want to run that you can actually have a scalable, repeatable post around, and then create those assets for it in a very easy way. You can also do flyers, you can do all kinds of stuff. And I know that folks are going to be, we've got a little giveaway at the end around some social media that I think Natty and Steve are going to speak to. So yeah, hope you guys liked that. If anyone has any more detailed questions, let me know in the chat.
I had
Yeah,
no
so-
idea Canva could do all that.
That's what I mean. Like I didn't know either. I was using it kind of ad hoc, and then I was like, okay, this is scratching the surface. And what I did was I just took a course on Udemy. So I just signed up for a course, and there's people in there, and they, you know, it's kind of like the same with any technology, right? Even we as vendors, like we're always speaking to our partners, and unless someone sits you down and actually takes you through some training and some proper onboarding, you kind of, if you're working it out yourself, unless you're really interested in it, you're probably only going to leverage 10 to 15% of a particular application. But if you take the time to sit down and follow some videos or do a course that's 4 or 5 hours, you really unlock a lot of the potential. So yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And you said you sparked an idea. You said, pick a day, and we all know Patch Tuesdays, right? Like we all have heard of that. Why not Canva Tuesdays now? Let's do like pick a day of the week, get in Canva, set up in your calendar that 30 minutes, that 1 hour, whatever it might be, and let's get going in Canva.
Yeah, unlock that creative time. Give yourself some space and time to be creative and think about it. It doesn't have to be social media posts. You can create a brand new email signature for everyone. You can animate your logo if you want, and then change that to a GIF to upload to Facebook. So whenever someone comes to your Facebook page, it's like an animation logo. It takes 5 minutes.
I hear it all
There's
the
lots
time.
of things.
They say, like, how am I gonna like differentiate myself from the competitors in the area? I can almost guarantee there's not a lot of competitors doing this. Get that professional LinkedIn page, get the website, like you mentioned, the signatures, good old fashioned brochures in the mail. Like I've heard a lot of people going back to that because, and I could say this, how many emails a day do you get, right? And how many do you actually look at? Probably not a lot. But now we're not getting as much in the mail. We're not getting something that we can actually touch and feel. So put that together, send out a mailer. Canva can help you with that too, and differentiate yourself.
Yeah, you open every bit of mail you get, right? You don't let a letter addressed to yourself go unopened. And the other thing I hear as well, Natty, is like time is an issue. Okay, well, we've just eviscerated that with Canva, like make it so easy. So the other thing is just worrying about what to do, how to do it. Like to get out of your own head. There's a quote by like Teddy Roosevelt that's like the best time to the best outcome is success. The second best outcome is failure. The worst outcome is not to try at all. So it's not
Yeah.
It's not about hitting the target. It's about taking the shot in the first place.
Yeah. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
all of the above. There we go. There's 3 quotes that you can add a Canva template today.
And Canva is just one free tool that we really wanted to highlight for you guys on the webinar today. As you may have seen in some of the messaging around the webinar, we are going to be giving out a social post pack with about 16 different social posts, speaking on all sorts of threats that are, really talking about at a high level the cybersecurity landscape. So you guys can feel free to try out this Canva tactic with using the content that is provided after the webinar. I do want to throw up our first poll question though, which is going to be, where does marketing fall on your priority list today? So 5 being very important or the most important, 1 being least important. And for anyone answering, number 4 or with number 5, you know, do you have a dedicated marketing team at your MSP right now, or is it something that you're, you know, a one-man shop and, you know, doing the marketing as well? Feel free to throw that in the chat. While we wait for those responses, I have a question for Steve, who was formerly an MSP. Steve, where did marketing fall on your priority list during your MSP days?
It was always one of those things that I knew I should do, but I never really got around to doing.
Mhm.
And I found after doing a lot of self-reflection in my later years with running an MSP, a lot of it was because I just would stick my head in the sand. I was like, I don't know the right way to do this, and I would do all kinds of research, and that research would generate more questions than answers. So rather than like making an attempt, I would just stick my head in the sand and hope the problem went away, which obviously the problem never went away.
Yeah.
And so it looks like we did draw in a lot of marketing focused MSPs on the call today, with 4 and 5 taking most of the cake here.
Mhm.
So I'm going to stop sharing this poll question. We're going to jump into our next topic, which again is going to be more towards Steve and his former MSP days. Also, George, I feel like we've spoken a lot, spent a lot of time together. I didn't know that you used to work at an MSP and kind of dove into the marketing side over there. So hopefully could get your insight on some of these questions and topics too.
Sure.
So as an MSP, Steve, or even George here, feel free to comment. What were some of the tactics that you were using, or what are some of the tactics that, you know, you felt worked?
So one of the things that I've found works really well is, and this is going to be very vague, being consistent. So it doesn't mean you have to have the most expensive, highest quality marketing materials. I mean, you saw it looks like George was using a really not stellar template that was very purple and very crazy looking, right? That's not my style, so I didn't love it. But you know, you can grab something like that and it's going to catch people's eye. And as long as you put good material on there and you're consistent, you continue to post. That's what's going to make the most difference. If you want to do video, do video. If you want to do polls, do polls. But you got to do them regularly, and um, people are going to start to like look for your content and almost expect your content. Great example is Matt Solomon for my company. Every Friday he does this last week in IT, and so I look for his post every Friday to see what's happened over the last week. You know, every Monday I've got my newsletter that goes out. You know, people look for that newsletter, and you know, is the newsletter great? No, it's not. But I write something meaningful to start the newsletter. I give a list of the events that are happening and I send it every Monday. And there's always a typo. There's almost always a problem with one of the links that I forgot to change, and it's got last week's link on it. But you know what? I'm consistent about that too, at least. So yeah, that's really what I have to say is just be consistent and make an attempt, because what did I always attribute this to Michael Scott from The Office. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Mhm.
Exactly. Yeah, I would add to that, like, so two things. Like, one, if anybody doesn't know how to schedule a post on LinkedIn, it's very easy. When you go to the post, there's a little clock, and that is something that I do at every company I've worked for. I don't want to sit and waste 15 minutes every morning, every afternoon thinking I will take out a chunk of time on a Monday morning to do a whole bunch of social posts, do like 10, 15 social posts for the week across multiple different accounts, and just get those all scheduled, and then they're done. You schedule them for the time and day that you want them to go, and then they just post automatically. So again, work smart, not hard there. Going back to, I'll like kind of follow Steve's comment on consistency, but I'm going to go to the opposite end of the spectrum and be like really, really specific. So at the MSP I worked for, we, whenever I came in, there was a lot of clients that were the sort of mom and pop shops and people that were kind of taking up a lot of time but not paying us a lot of money. And there wasn't really a focus. And I kind of did some analysis and worked out that we had a pretty good case to kind of focus and hone in on healthcare, specifically on getting clients in the door through doing website redesigns. So bringing that focus and actually maybe trying to focus particularly on a vertical, I think is something that successful MSPs, get really, really good at. And it means that you can really tailor your content to that target market. The thing that I did that we had a lot of success was that I feel like a lot of MSPs are reluctant to do is we started getting very engaged in the RFP process, the request for proposals, which is how a lot of public sector organizations tender or accrue like the services that they want. The problem is that a lot of MSPs don't want to do that because they don't have a dedicated resource, or it's very, very, it's labor intensive to go through that process. There is a proposal that's sometimes like 40 pages long. Sometimes the people want you to post that to them in this day and age instead of just emailing a PDF. But the critical thing is that if you were able to focus on a particular sector, that's where your referrals begin to boom. So we had a year where it was hard going. And then once we got a few big hospital clients in, even though they'd still have to go through that tender process, the people at the hospital or the healthcare center or the community clinic, they're seeing a new website and they're calling up their friends at that location saying, hey, Nadia, I saw you had the new website launched there. Congratulations, looks really good. Who did that? How much did it cost? Cool. Okay, we're gonna do a public tender process, but can you make sure that those guys know that we're doing it? And so then another similar thing I did was, if you can understand how that process works, you'll understand that it's the same people or even same companies that actually administer that process. They're called buying groups. So for example, here in Ontario, the buying group for healthcare, there's a massive one called Plexus. I just went straight to Plexus and just said, you guys do this on a regular basis. We build websites for hospitals. Hospitals think that they are unique and interesting. They actually all want the same thing. They want the same kind of homepage. They want parking to be in a prominent location because that's where all the questions come from. They want these services, blah, 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 blah. Let's put a piggyback clause in this contract, meaning any client that gets our services, we're willing to offer them the same thing at the same price within reason. And that way you and they don't have to spend 6 months. So start thinking outside the box a little bit. But the critical thing is I was hired to think about that and was given time and space to do that. So maybe whether it's hiring someone or freeing yourself up to give yourself the mental space to think about some of the creative ways that you can market or get your name out there to other people.
Absolutely. Totally agree. And I've said this to our team a couple of times. One of the greatest compliments I received at a trade show from an MSP was, I can't seem to open up LinkedIn without seeing one of you on the page because you're just constantly posting and there's always something going on. And I thought, that's great. Like, we're getting in front of our target audience, which is the MSPs, but we're providing educational content. Because then I dug in a little deeper and said, what do you think of what we're actually putting out there? And it's educational content. So it's things that they want to know about, those quick stats like George was showing. So it's things that then the MSP can use with their end user. But the thing they actually liked the most too was to see that we were real people. They showed us, at an event, hanging out, or maybe if there was like a company luncheon, we showed that we're real people and people want to do business with people they like. So the fact that they saw that we're not just robots behind the screen creating these ads for you to click on, but there are real people with real smiling faces, made them feel like they were part of the family and part of our team as well. So, be creative with what you're posting. A lot of the great stuff we showed you here today, but if your company is doing something unique and something great, put it out there so that your customers and your prospective customers know about it.
And I have our second poll question ready here. I'm going to launch it as I ask Steve a similar question. So it sounded like, you did a little bit of marketing, during your time as an MSP, Steve. What was the most, I guess, common way that you were acquiring new customers? And I know, we have some more marketing focused MSPs here, so feel free to drop any, campaigns. Oh, let's see. It's not letting me see the answers just yet. Hopefully the answers that you guys are typing in, I can see after I share the results. But back to Steve. yeah, some of the ways that you were acquiring new customers.
So I'll start with the most cliche answer, and it's referrals. But I need to stress that referrals can't be the only way you're getting new clients, because eventually you're going to run up dry. Your existing clients only know so many people, right? And a lot of times companies are not quick to refer these days. So the best proactive way that I would get new clients was simply doing my newsletter, sending it out to people in like my chamber of commerce and that type of thing. And then my LinkedIn posts did really well. I would always connect with everybody that I met at different networking events locally. And then the third best way that I found is pick a niche. So you can't be everything to everyone. So like I did really well with funeral homes, as morbid as that sounds. So look at where your customers hang out. You know, go to a funeral home convention if that's a thing, and you know, go to trade shows. Sign up to be a vendor sponsor and have a table or a booth at some of these events, and that's a fantastic way for you to pick up new business. In passive methods, you know, you can have the website and the SEO and the social media posts. You can even sign up for some of these services where they have done for you marketing campaigns, and you just almost put it on autopilot. But that's not going to generate as much business or as many leads as you going out, putting yourself out there and like attending events.
And so I thank you for that, Steve. I am able to see the answers that were submitted on the back end here. So we attend many local network groups. We also continue to get at least 2 to 3 direct referrals from customers. SEO, cold emails, referrals and acquisitions, word of mouth, referrals and Google ads. A lot of word of mouth here. Cold calls, moving into new markets, along with some marketing on social media, and then another cold calls here. So
Thanks.
awesome to see, touching a lot of different mediums there. And now we're gonna move into our last topic here, taking advantage of vendor resources. I kind of wanted to start this topic off with a poll question. So I'm going to go ahead and launch number 3 here. Is anyone on the call currently engaged with any free vendor resources from the list below? So if there's something that you guys are doing or participating in that's not on this list, feel free to throw it in the chat here. But Nadia, I'm going to pass it to you if you can go ahead and speak on some things that CyberQP has to offer. We'll hand it over to Steve. Of course, Channel Program has some great things to offer with their platform, but
yeah, absolutely. So again, I've been in the industry a long time, and I've seen a lot of vendors out there that offer a little extra support for their partners. And that's always been something that I take really, really seriously. So in my role here as head of the marketing and channel team, one of my main focuses has been like, how can we help our MSPs with their business? In turn, it makes the whole community better. So the partner program and the things that we offer are extremely, extremely important. So we're doing things like what we're doing today, getting on the phone with industry experts. Let's figure out the best ways to give you those tips and tricks. We have it's dedicated partner success managers. So we don't just necessarily give you the keys to the software and expect you to figure it out on your own. We're going to help you implement, but that's also the person who is an expert and has spoken to thousands of other MSPs who can help you build this into your managed service offering, into your security offering, and help you actually make money from the services as well. We have brandable marketing materials. So if you're like, where do I get started? We talked about sending things in the mail. We talked about word of mouth, but like, how do I get started? We have marketing materials that you can slap your own logo on, change the colors, use Canva if you'd like to, as we talked about earlier today. and make it your own and get out there and start talking to people. We do have an MDF program. So if you have an idea of something you want to do to get in front of more prospective customers, let's chat about that. Let's figure out how we can help you with that and work towards the best opportunities for you. And like I said, in turn, it makes the whole community better.
And Steve, if you don't mind touching on all the amazing things, we're CyberQP is actually a proud sponsor of Channel Program and your guys' platform. We're, you know, posting our events on there. We post all of our content that's in our partner portal is also on the Channel Program portal. But do you mind talking to the amazing things that you guys have done as a platform for MSPs?
Absolutely. I just want to start out by saying like 99% of our platform is free for MSPs. Okay, so my primary focus is content. Starting in June, I'm going to be live 4 days a week. I'm going to have vendors come on and teach useful things. I'm going to have them demo their products. I've just got a lot going on. Okay. So definitely check out my content schedule, which if you follow me on LinkedIn, you'll always see what I've got happening there. We've got the biggest thing that I'm excited about that we have is Navistack. If you're not familiar with Navistack, it's honestly it's a game changer for vendor management. It allows you to visualize your entire vendor ecosystem in a single pane of glass. It makes it effortless to identify gaps in your stack across key categories like cybersecurity, backup recovery, all that good stuff. You can streamline communication with all your vendors with a single login. We've got centralized partner portals within Channel Program, all thanks to Navistack. So definitely check that out. You can get started with Navistack. Like I said, it's free. You just go to channelprogram.com, sign up for a free account. If you have any questions, reach out to me and let me know.
Interesting poll results there.
Yeah, so looks like a lot of participants in vendor partner programs. Not a lot of use of MDF funds, which I think is interesting to see.
I didn't know that was a thing. And then when I did hear about it, when I ran my MSP, when I did finally hear about it, my initial thought was, oh, I'm too little. They're not going to give me that. So I didn't bother.
See, at CyberQP, I will give some insight to our MDF funds and our kind of requirements there. We help a lot of our partners, whether they're trying to get in any way that they can get in front of their clients. We want to help support them in that. So we've done things like sponsored, napkins and wine and lunch at, an in-person event, or even helped them for the cost of a booth at a trade show. I know that there's a MSP focused Robbins event that a lot of our partners were going to. But yeah, I would definitely recommend reaching out to your vendors, seeing if they have MDF funds, or if you have an initiative that can get you in front of your clients, speaking with them and seeing if they would be so kind to help you out in doing that. Nice to see newsletter subscriptions. We definitely have a newsletter that goes out once to twice a week, which brings up a question that was in the Q&A. How many emails should be sent a week optimally? Now, I think Steve was on point with saying being consistent. So I would say consistently once a week. And then it depends on what, content or how great of content that you can put together and put out on a consistent basis. Anyone care to add on the
Yeah, I would agree with that. The thing you always want to keep in mind is that there is that unsubscribe option, and you don't want to send so many emails that it tempts somebody to click that button. So I think, Jared, you hit it on the head there. So I think it's definitely once a week so they know it's coming. And if it's educational, it's something they look forward to. If, let's say, they know it's coming every Monday or every Friday, like you mentioned Matt does, Steve, I think that's really important. But then if you have something compelling to say, like you're having an event, you're having a promotion, throw in an extra one here and there. But I would say we've noticed that consistent once a week, and then, pepper in some exciting stuff here and there.
And I will say that the tone of the email definitely is a factor too.
Yeah.
I feel like when I first started, participating on the creation of newsletters, it was very formal. And you were addressing everyone by first and last name and just being very formal. But I found that, the informal conversation style newsletter really, really works well. Also including some cool graphics, which again, not a sponsor, but Canva can help you out there. Definitely a good idea to add in there. We are going to start wrapping things up here. On the far left hand side of the QR code screen, you can see you can book a demo with CyberQP. If you're a current partner, you can learn about our partner program, all of the other things that we've touched on to help you post sale as well. I'm going to hand it off to George to introduce his offering, and then Steve, you can follow.
Thanks, Jared. Yeah, our QR code will take you through to a similar page, a demo for our latest product, Augment Autopilot. For anyone who doesn't know about Augment, we're all about simplifying M365 security for specifically for MSPs, so bringing multi-tenancy to that environment. And the Autopilot is putting your security on autopilot. So we're using security baseline templates, so you can roll out all of the security postures and policies across all of your clients with a click of a button. So if you think Canva's cool for getting work done quickly, you should definitely check out Autopilot as well. And for anyone who also wants to add me on LinkedIn, just fire on George Smith Augment. I see Richard already added me, so thanks, and feel free to ping me on there if you want any more tips on marketing Canva or Augment.
And Steve, do you mind sending the link for Navistack into the chat? It looks like the QR code isn't working there.
Oh no. Yeah, so honestly, that's just going to channelprogram.com. So let me see if I can get to the chat here. So yeah, if you go to channelprogram.com, like I said, you can sign up for a free account. You can start setting up Navistack for free, and it's great because it's got all these different categories and you can visualize your entire tech stack.
Awesome. Well, thank you all very much for attending. We will be reaching out with the recording as well as the resource pack filled with statistics and social posts for you to get started on your marketing journey. Hope you all benefited from today's content, and we will speak to you soon.
Thanks for hosting, Jared. Thanks everyone for coming.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care, everybody.